First of all, early happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Grateful, a group of men doing what we get to do. It's a great time for us to be able to celebrate that and be so thankful and grateful for all the hard work, the love, support, the Gatorades, the cleats, all the things that come with it. And so happy Mother's Day there, and we'll open up for questions.
Any takeaways specifically, Dave, about Monroe's 2 days here, whether it's in a meeting or something he did out here?
I mean, first of all, he looks great. He's been working really hard, just trying to continue to, increase his strength and do those things. Showed up, I think he was, about 325, and looked great, moved well, showed the length and all the things. And, he's just got to get comfortable with some of our schemes and concepts, playing next to a tight end who might be blocking front side or going backside, and settling into some of those things. But looks like a guy that really enjoys football. Those are the types of guys that we love to have here.
325 is a little bigger than he played at, yeah. I think. Was that something that you guys talked about, maybe him getting a little bigger?
Not really. That was just kind of an emphasis of his. And I mean, if you think, the guy's 21 years old, so he's still growing into whatever his frame is. And I think he played somewhere in the 310s-ish or something like that, 315 during the season. But as we know, seasons get long and guys have a chance to kind of settle in and focus on some things, and the work showed up. But he looks great. He's moving well, so really pleased with that.
Do you almost have to make an allowance for guys out here during this camp, because most of these dudes have been in combine training or pre-draft, different kind of not football?
Absolutely. That's something we have to be really aware of as we come into these camps where the guys are working out, they're practicing drills that they go through at pro days or the combine. And those drills are pretty set, but once you're starting to react to movement and you get back to playing a little bit of football, that does work different parts of your body. And so, post-draft, they really have 2 weeks, some guys a week before they hit rookie minicamp. We always do it on the second weekend after the draft, to hopefully give those guys a chance to, get their cleats on and just kind of settle into their normal type of football training.
2 days outside with Haynes King. What has stood out to you about him?
Yeah, first of all, off the film, the thing I was most excited about is you just watch his offense move the chains. 3rd and 4th down, 2-minute drill. The ball goes down the field, they score points. And there's a bunch of ways you can affect the game as a quarterback with your mind, with your arm, and with your legs. And he's got a way that he's able to find wins that way. It was great to see him in person, work around, coming off play actions, the bootlegs, and then just certainly seeing the athleticism that he has in his body show up through his arm. A lot of zip, a lot of pop there, and a guy that really was, he did a great job in the classroom also, just making sure like these camps only go as well as a quarterback's ability to operate, get them out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage with a cadence. I think we might have had 2 pre-snap penalties in 2 days. That's pretty rare for a rookie minicamp, and so I got to attribute that to Rashad and also to Haynes for operating that way.
And Brad has spent a lot of time with the quarterbacks, particularly today. Is that a function of him just calling the offense in rookie minicamp, or is there something more there?
No, that's been something that Brad's been doing for the last couple of years since we've been here, is trying to make sure that he's got a lot of familiarity with the wide receiver play, but getting into the quarterback room, especially now, calling plays and being really in charge of the offense, putting the implementation of it, just to make sure that the language is on the same page and the intent of what we're trying to do is there, but also just a growth opportunity for Brad to continue to press into the training of a quarterback. And that's something that I had great mentors that taught me, and something that I've loved to be able to have conversations with for Brad to continue to, look at the whole group and be able to impact it that way.
We've heard you talk a lot about the kind of mental side of things for the center position. What's been your takeaway on Sam from that regard?
Yeah, Sam's handled this in stride. He's done a great job in these last couple of days. Excited to throw more on his plate as we get back together with the full group. But again, what showed up for Sam is on film, you see a guy that's under control, a guy that plays the center position really well, at a professional level, even from his film last year. And that's what showed up in these last 2 days is, his ability to stay calm, make the point, work his combos with the guys, and just kind of bring that type of balance and cohesiveness that you need to have with the inside three.
Coach Chris Bazard, after the draft selection, one of the talking heads says it's a great pick if he holds it all together, indicating that there's some kind of locker room potential there. He comes from an athletic family. I'm sorry, but there was a one arrest that he had regarding driver's license, but other than that, there was nothing else.
Chris has done a great job. He loves playing. He loves working on his craft. That kind of emerged in the process as we were talking to him. He's a guy that loves to get out there and work his footwork and do different things. And I have a friend who actually coaches in the area that has had exposure with Chris before, and has worked with him on the field. And so the whole process gave us confidence in this guy, being able to just continue to have the foundation to build his skills, to build all the tools that he needs, because he's really into it. That's what we're mostly concerned with. And as far as like the last couple of days, he's done a great job pressing into it. But as you can imagine, I think we talked about this yesterday, this is different. We have all these different splits and where we put guys in stacks, and are you inside or outside the numbers and all those things. Those are going to be the things that Chris is going to really need to dive into.
You do put a lot of emphasis, obviously, on character. Were there any questions with him that you wanted to have answered?
Not at all. I think it was just a matter of us getting to know the guy and how he learns, how he relates from a personal standpoint, and we did the work. We had him in at the combine in the formal meetings. We brought him in for a 30 visit. We followed up with Zooms just to check all those boxes of this is a guy that we would love to work with, because the football skills and the speed, the ability to track the ball down the field at his height, to be able to drop his weight, getting out of breaks, it's rare. And we were just really excited that we were able to just stay put where we were at, and he came to us in the 3rd round. And so excited to see what happens when he gets with the rest of the guys. How
important are reps like this for a guy like Jasim Reed? And what have you seen from the wide receiver?
Jasim's done a great job for us since we got him here. We have a little bit of a commonality. He went to University of San Diego. That was our opening day at Azusa Pacific way back when. So, but anyway, speaking to like what he's doing now, getting to this camp to really show us what he knows, and also the training that he's gotten from Rob. it really shows up. And when you get a new group of wide receivers out there, it's good to have someone like Jasim out there with them where they can kind of see, this is how we want this route run. This is how we want this drill done. He did a great job these couple of days.
Coach, sorry, go.
Haynes is an older guy. When you get a guy like that that's been in college for a while, which has kind of become the norm the last couple of years, how much of a difference can you tell when you get him out here for the first time?
There certainly is. For the guys that we're seeing, 24 and 25-year-olds coming out, and there's a maturity to them. There's a professionalism about how they handle their life inside the building and outside of the building, just kind of having their world in order. Haynes gives that feel, like he's a pro, mentally speaking, and now the challenge is how quickly can we get him caught up in all of our schemes, concepts, protections, all the different things at the line of scrimmage, and right now he's pouring himself into it, doing a great job.
Dave, the nickel position seems like something that you're very much open to competition with. Devontae Smith has plenty of playing time at the college level. I don't know if you've watched all the film from him yesterday, but what stood out to you about him?
Yeah, versatility. Spent a lot of time in the slot playing the nickel, but is a guy that can certainly play outside too. So it's a good group. Will Lee, the length, you see that too as well. These guys are, that position right there. We have Shaw coming back. We have Corey Thornton, who really, won the job during the season last year and got an opportunity till he got hurt. So there's a great competition already happening. We love to throw more possible guys at each position. Competition just breeds success. It breeds growth, development, and guys really start to push each other. So I'm excited to get those guys with the full group.
Brad is getting the sort of level of energy that the rest of the receivers are out there. How important is to match the energy of the players out there as coaches?
Yeah, we set the tone. That's a reminder for us. This is our 6th day in a row on the field, and we got to treat it like it's our first and bring that same intentionality, the intensity to the individual drills, and making sure we're pushing these guys so they can understand what the expectation is of how we practice. And so really critical that the players, they got their own energy that they come into with this excitement of this opportunity and the competition. But as coaches, we have to just make sure that stays at a fever pitch so that we have great speed. That's the best way you learn is we can push the guys and also just to enjoy what we're doing. We get to come out here on the grass and coach football one more day, and that part I know the players will look at us and they see us excited about it. They'll maintain that energy.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Haynes, why was the Panthers the right fit for you when you got the calls after the draft, and what have you learned about this organization over the last 2 days?
Yeah, I feel like it's the right fit, and what I've learned is they care about their culture, their locker room, who they bring in here. They do a lot of research on that, and there's a lot of great people in the building, and I love that aspect of it.
When I talked to you in Indy, you talked about the mindset of a backup quarterback and serving the starting quarterbacks. What is it about that position right now that you kind of have to hone in on as you gradually get into the flow with Rice and Kenny?
Yeah, really just focusing on being a great person, and 2, the best teammate I can be. Whatever it is, helping out, Bryce or even the team, and just kind of owning your role throughout the year, and that's part of being like you said, the best person and best teammate I can be.
What's it like going to Chris Bazard, and over the last couple of days, what's it been like as a teammate?
Oh, he's a heck of an athlete. Different type of level for sure, and he makes plays. He's made plays throughout this camp, and he's going to continue to develop and continue to hone in on his game, and just like him, he's a great person as well. We've had a bunch of conversations, got to know him over this weekend, and it's only good news from him for sure.
How would you describe his personality?
Oh, he's funny for sure. Great guy, like I said, and just he wants to be good, and he's going to work his tail off to be the best person and best player he can be.
Haynes, I read that you transferred to Georgia Tech without any promise of NIL money, any promise of starting there. How does that experience of betting on yourself compare to this experience of being a rookie in the NFL?
Honestly, I believe it's kind of the same throughout any situation. You know, you could just bet on yourself. That's part of the confidence of what you need to have to even play this position. And to have any sort of success, you have to have self-confidence in what you do, and you got to own yourself, own your role, and just work from there.
Kind of building off that, Canales talked about your maturity, just kind of being an older guy as well. How much does that help in a weekend like this, where it's a little bit of baptism by fire?
Yeah, the older you are, the more you get to experience, and like you said, sometimes maturity comes with age, and I feel like I'm pretty mature, and I've seen a lot happen. So I get to, when you experience it, now you're like, okay, I've seen this, or you might have even done this before, and you can learn off. Nowadays, you learn off of either seeing it or doing it, and that's a big part of the maturity, I believe.
Haynes, back on Bazard, he's a guy with pretty big catch radius. You saw that today in the back of the end zone. What's it like throwing to him in that regard?
Coach, just get in his area. He's got a huge catch radius, and just give him a chance on the ball, he's going to come down with it for sure.
How are you with catching the ball?
I would say I'm pretty good. I got to catch the snap every day, every play. So quarterbacks have to have sort of some sort of good hands.
A lot of insiders have been saying maybe you could be a Jason Hill type player. Can you get out in the flat? Can you make those plays?
If that's what the team needs, I'll do it. Like I said earlier, with owning your role, owning who you are, and what's best for the team. Be a great teammate.
Do those types of comparisons, do they, I don't want to say upset you, but is it sort of a knock on what you've done as a quarterback when you hear, he can be a gadget type guy at the next level?
Not too much, because at the end of the day, everybody kind of wants to play. And also Taysom Hill, he's a pretty good athlete and a pretty good ball player as well. But, I feel like, in my confidence that I can play quarterback at this level. So that's my first goal, is make it as a quarterback and do as best as I can. But, also at the end of the day, if the team needs that, I'm down for it. But, first and foremost, I'm going to try to make it as a quarterback.
What are the last couple of months been like for you? Going through the draft process, signing as a free agent, picking a team. What has that been like for you? And then what have you learned about yourself during the process?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, exciting things going on, but a lot of anxiously waiting, because you just kind of don't know where you're going to end up, don't know what's going to happen, but just got to do it with the people you love, your small circle that you have, whether it's family, friends, all that. And when you do that and you just kind of be in the moment and experience it through that, everything's kind of fun, and you just kind of put it in God's hands and let Him have it.
What has it been like?
Even more
Oh yeah, for sure. Going through that, experience does that as well. When you're going through this, it's a lot of, I guess, mental adversity, you not knowing what to do, and now it's like, okay, now I'm probably a little bit more patient than I was before this process. So.
You talked about patience, talked about your age. You're also the son of a coach, a pretty legendary high school football coach in Texas. What is it like? What's it been like for him to kind of see you achieve these NFL dreams? And how has being a son of a coach helped you to this point?
It's helped me out a lot. He was hard on me. He never gave me anything, and to win the job, I had to win over the whole team at first. So it wasn't easy, but going through this process with him, and especially this even just this past year, you kind of look at life differently. I don't know if you know this, but he had mouth cancer, and just to be able to go through that, it just shows who he is as a person. And then, like I said, when you go through that, it hits harder when it hits close to home, and kind of gives you a new perspective of life. And but I think it's been good. It's been good for me. Been good for the family as well.
Thanks, Haynes.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Haynes.
Hey, Haynes, good to meet you. Joe Person. Good to see you.
Yes,
man.
That's
Likewise.
those last couple of days like?
It was fun, man. I'm gonna say it again, it's my favorite team, so to be out here is a blessing. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Have you been able to dig up more pictures of you, like in Panther stuff? I know we saw the one of you and your mom.
Yeah, I got plenty of Panther stuff. I only posted, I posted 2, but I got like a lot. Oh, you talk about that photo?
Yeah.
So I got photos when I was like young and Panther stuff, but yeah.
I mean, has it hit you yet that this is where you're at?
Yeah, it hit me the first day I was here, not training camp, but the first day we came in, did the physical, signed paperwork. It was like, yeah, I'm really on the team, so.
Chris, is there, Jassim Reed's been around the offense. Is there like a guy or a coach that you're really kind of leaning on as you're learning this weekend?
Brad, my receiver coach, Reed, you just named, really everybody on my resources, the quarterback, me and him did a couple walkthroughs, talked about it, so yeah.
Is there, a lot of people talk about the difference between the Tulane tape and the Tennessee tape, where you were kind of more of a route runner at Tulane. Why were you not allowed to maybe why weren't you used kind of in a similar way in Tennessee's offense?
See, I'm not sure, everybody knows Tennessee as the run and gun, which they're right, I'm not gonna say her lie. So 2024 year, like I said it a lot, that was a lot of run and gun. But this year, if you really watch my film, you know, man, I'm running damn near every route in the playbook. Like every route I done ran here, I ran it at Tennessee. There's not a route I done ran here that I have not ran. So Tennessee is definitely evolving the playbook. They're getting more pro style, more friendly. So yeah, I haven't really ran a route here that I haven't ran at Tennessee. So.
Chris, Dave Canales was asked yesterday if he thought you had a physical build similar to Robbie Anderson. He said, I don't like the hair guy, but kind of built similar. Have you heard that from anyone else?
Slim, me and him slim. So y'all see a slim guy. I get it. So yeah, I see what y'all saying.
What do you know him at all?
Yeah.
What would you say about him and his career?
Good player, definitely a good player. I know he played on, I think he played on the Dolphins, the Jets. I know he played here. He had like 1,000 yards here or something like that. Yeah, he was a baller for sure. So respecting him for sure.
Chris, a couple of years ago, you had to run into with the law regarding your driver's license. Exactly what happened there? Was that a learning experience?
Yeah, it was a learning experience. It's a long story. Long story short, I just really didn't know my license was suspended. It wasn't one of them things I'm just driving on a suspended license like a dummy. In the state of Tennessee, they issue you a suspended license. They never tell you. So my license was suspended for like a year and a half. I don't get pulled over a lot. So it took me a year and a half to get pulled over again to be like, dang, my license suspended. And then I was in jail for like 30 minutes, no bond, leaving a ticket. Went in there, walked out. The people in jail were telling me I'm not supposed to be in jail, to be honest. So it was just it was a learning lesson. Just pay your speeding tickets on time. That's it. Yeah.
Is that something teams ask you up top in the pre-draft?
Yeah, they asked me, but they understand. It's not like I'm not a troublemaker. I've been 22 now. That's my only experience with the laws or anything bad. But like I said, it's not like I was on some dummy stuff, just driving around, suspended license. I just got honestly didn't know. Tennessee understood that I didn't know because the cops talked to them. So it was one of the things, like I said, pay y'all speeding tickets on time. So, yeah.
Chris, when you were drafted, Canales went into a lot of detail talking about the way you run routes, different things about it. What's it like to come in as a rookie when your head coach used to be a receivers coach and can go into that level of detail?
Man, it's amazing. Just kind of like I went to Tennessee, head coach there was a quarterback, won a national championship. He liked to throw the ball, liked to catch the ball. So to have a head coach that coach receivers, likes receivers, and hearing the feedback from him is amazing. I can go to him, ask him what he thinks about this, what he thought about that. So, yeah.
Obviously, you've been a fan of this team for a while, but over the past couple of weeks, have you gone back and watched any of last year's tape, maybe specifically just with a more closer eye?
I watched the Rams game for sure. I watched the Falcons game. I watched the Cowboys game. My dad's a Cowboys fan. I watched that game live. And me and my dad, he was actually in Tennessee when we watched it, so it was a little back and forth. So yeah.
What were your takeaways about maybe Bryce or the receivers and how they're used and what you can how you can fit in?
Bryce is a baller. T-Mac is clearly a baller. Jalen Coker, excuse me, he's a baller. Legette's a baller. All them guys can ball. So yeah.
How do you fit into that room?
However I fit in, however the coach want me to fit in, be used how they want to be used. So yeah.
How has this process been getting to know the coaches, guys around the building, and your teammates?
So I took a 30 visit here. So the coaches, I met kind of everybody already. Teammates are new. Everybody's cool. We're clicking pretty good. Receivers are cool. So Yeah.
Is there a guy that stood out, whether you know the name or number, over the last 2 weeks while you've been playing?
Here?
Yeah, or sorry, over the last 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, Hunter's big. Hunter's a big old dude. So when I seen him, I'm like, yeah, okay, I see why I got him in a second. So, yeah.
Chris, what about Haynes King? And also, did you know him? Like, did you keeping up with him while he was playing in college?
You talking about the quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe I watched him play Georgia. One year they took him like 5 overtime. So I did watch him back then. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's it been like playing with him past couple days?
Great guy. He's a leader for sure. He wanted to do a walkthrough yesterday in the parking lot, go over the plays. He's in the locker room, helped me go over the plays, talking the plays out for me. So he's a good leader.
You come from an
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot, man. Yeah.
Was that strange or
nah,
like?
I mean, you gotta get it where you get it at. So yeah.
Was
like,
that
have the
something
iPad
with
out,
the?
or
Was that something with the coaches? Or
Nah, it was
something
just he called it. We was all trying to get together. First day, everybody was kind of inane a little bit. Everybody a little rough. He wants to be great. I want to be great. A lot of people want to be great. So he decided, he was like, man, we go to the parking lot and do a walkthrough. So.
And this is right up here, not like in the hotel.
Nah, right here, right around here.
The parking lot here at the stadium.
A couple more.
And you come from an athletic family, you know, your dad and your mom, and what is it like to have that background, and how much did it help you, you know, growing up and be here?
So, I mean, my dad played in the NFL when I was a kid, so, I mean, I was brought into the NFL family. I've been playing football since I could walk, watching him train. Also, I feel like I know the reason why I am okay, you feel what I'm saying, because my dad, like, that's an NFL guy. Everything I learned really came from him, so, yeah.
Go back to your route tree. It's easy to kind of watch you and go, okay, well, the speed is definitely there, the downfield. But what's something in your game that maybe people don't, is a little underrated or people don't pay attention to as much?
Underrated? I'll say either my route running, because for some reason, because I went to Tennessee, I guess I can run routes, which is, it is what it is. I'm just going, you know, it is what it is. But I'll say that aspect and definitely my run after the catch. Hopefully, I'm able to show you a little bit more this year, so yeah.
Is there a story behind you picking 19?
Nah, it's, they had this number, they had 14, no, they had 14, they had this number. 16, they had 16, so decided to go 19, so yeah.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate the time, man. Thank you.